There is a sound that no one else hears but you. It wakes you. It startles you. And before your brain can make sense of the moment, your leg tightens into a knot of agony. A cramp, deep and fierce, merciless, grabs your calf like a vice. You reach for it, try to stretch it, breathe through it, whisper to yourself, it's just a cramp. It will pass. But it doesn't. Not quickly. Not gently. And as the pain slowly lets go, it leaves behind a soreness, a reminder, and a haunting question: why is this happening to me? If you're over 60, you already know this scene all too well. For some, it happens in the middle of the night. For others, it strikes during a quiet walk or while getting up from a chair. It can come unannounced, uninvited, and seemingly without cause. But the truth is, your body always speaks before it screams. The whispers of imbalance, of deficiency, of tired muscles and aging nerves, they begin long before the cramp arrives. This is not just about discomfort. This is about dignity. Because when your legs betray you, even momentarily, something deeper begins to tremble: your independence. Your confidence. Your sense of control over your own body. And I'm here to tell you something both urgent and hopeful: these cramps are not a mystery. They are messengers. And you can answer them, not with pills, but with nourishment. With understanding. With food that heals, not just fills. I want you to imagine your body as a beautiful orchestra. Every mineral, every vitamin, every nerve and muscle is an instrument. When they're in tune, your movements are smooth, your steps are steady, and your nights are quiet. But just one missing note, one mineral too low, one nutrient absent, and the harmony falters. A cramp is not just a muscle tightening, it's the music of your body turning dissonant. And the conductor, my friend, is you. So let us begin with one of the most underestimated, yet powerful instruments in this orchestra, something so simple and common that it often gets overlooked. The egg. Yes, the humble egg, sitting silently in your refrigerator, holds within it the potential to restore strength to your legs, calm to your nerves, and balance to your muscles. When I speak with my older patients, many of them don't realize that age-related muscle loss, what we call sarcopenia, can begin as early as the mid-50s. And without conscious effort, it accelerates. The muscles weaken, the legs become less responsive, and the risk of cramping, falling, and losing mobility rises sharply. Eggs offer a counterbalance to that trajectory. They are not merely breakfast food, they are biological gold. Each egg contains all 9 essential amino acids, complete protein, the very building blocks your muscles are begging for. When your legs cramp, it's often because the muscle fibers are exhausted, starved of nutrients, and struggling to repair. A single egg, with its 6 grams of high-quality protein, acts like a construction crew showing up with all the right tools. But protein alone is not the hero here. It's also the orchestra of vitamins that ride along with it. One of the most crucial is vitamin D. And while we often think of the sun when we think of vitamin D, for seniors who spend less time outdoors or who have thinner, less efficient skin, diet becomes vital. Egg yolks contain natural vitamin D, which enhances calcium absorption, improves muscle contraction, and directly helps prevent those cruel nighttime cramps. Now, I can already hear the concern forming in the minds of those watching, but what about cholesterol? Here's what you need to know. For most healthy seniors, moderate egg consumption, 6 to 7 eggs per week, is not only safe, but beneficial. Studies from the last decade have consistently debunked the myth that eggs raise heart disease risk in otherwise healthy individuals. In fact, replacing processed meats or sugary cereals with eggs may actually improve cardiovascular outcomes. But we're not done with this small powerhouse. Eggs also deliver something many older adults lack without even knowing it: vitamin B12. And this isn't just about energy levels or mental clarity, though those matter greatly. B12 is deeply involved in nerve function. Low levels of it can cause tingling, burning, numbness, and yes, muscle cramps. Particularly in seniors taking acid-blocking medications, or those with reduced stomach acid, B12 absorption declines. But eggs, soft, easy to chew, and rich in B12, offer a simple, digestible solution. And there's more: choline. An unsung hero, choline works alongside B12 to support the myelin sheath, the protective coating around nerves. If your muscles are instruments, your nerves are the cables that carry the signal. And when those signals are interrupted, misfired, or weak, the result is spasm, cramp, or collapse. Eggs, once again, help restore that pathway. Now imagine starting your day with a single boiled egg, or a gentle scramble with leafy greens. It's not just a meal, it's muscle medicine. It's a quiet form of defense. A promise that you will not let your legs give way without a fight. Of course, balance is key. For seniors with chronic kidney disease, protein intake must be carefully monitored. For those with cholesterol concerns, egg whites can still deliver much of the protein benefit. And for diabetics, pairing eggs with fiber-rich vegetables can help prevent blood sugar spikes. There is a way for almost everyone to include eggs in a way that is safe and nourishing. Let us move now to a second gift of nature. One that comes not from the farm, but from the trees. Bright, sweet, and sometimes misunderstood, the banana. A single banana may seem like an afternoon snack, but in truth, it is an electrolyte elixir wrapped in a golden peel. One banana contains nearly 420 milligrams of potassium. And potassium, dear friend, is the mineral that muscles dance to. Without it, the rhythm of contraction and relaxation is lost. The result? Twitching, cramping, fatigue. Seniors are particularly vulnerable to low potassium, what we call hypokalemia, due to medications, poor diet, dehydration, or simply eating less with age. Potassium regulates electrical signals between nerves and muscles. When it dips too low, those signals become erratic, and the muscle responds with tightness, spasms, or prolonged cramping. Add to this the fact that bananas also provide magnesium, a mineral responsible for calming overexcited muscles, and you begin to see how one banana a day can be more than habit. It can be healing. Magnesium helps produce ATP, the cellular energy currency your muscles depend on. It balances calcium and potassium, the two giants of muscle contraction. It soothes. It restores. It silences the chaotic chorus that plays when your muscles are depleted. When I ask my older patients when their cramps occur, they often whisper, at night. In bed. In the dark. When they are most vulnerable. And that's not a coincidence. Overnight, your body undergoes repair. Electrolytes shift. Circulation slows. If your reserves are low of water, potassium, magnesium, the muscles rebel. A banana eaten 1 hour before bed, paired with water or a magnesium-rich seed like pumpkin seed, can drastically reduce nighttime leg cramps. But bananas offer more than minerals. They contain vitamin B6, essential for nerve function and red blood cell production. This means oxygen reaches your muscles more efficiently. Healing happens faster. And the signals that prevent cramping stay clear. The sweetness of a banana, combined with its natural hydration, makes it a gentle bedtime companion. Especially when paired with something salty like a few nuts or a slice of cheese to balance electrolytes. Think of it as giving your legs a lullaby, a soft, nourishing melody to sleep to. And now, we come to the third and final food in this quiet trinity of healing. Not loud, not flashy, but dense with life, rich with meaning. A handful of healing. That's what nuts and seeds are. Tiny, yes, but inside each one lies a world of strength, an arsenal of minerals and fats and ancient energy evolved to nourish us through the ages. When I look at the legs of my patients, legs that have carried the weight of a family, the miles of a lifetime, the burdens of illness, the wear of time, I don't just see limbs. I see history. I see legacy. And I also see vulnerability. Because when circulation slows, when inflammation rises, when the nerves begin to whisper of imbalance, those legs begin to ache. They begin to cramp. They begin to say, we need help. Nuts and seeds offer precisely the kind of help that isn't noisy or instant, but consistent, foundational, and profoundly stabilizing. Let's begin with magnesium, the silent guardian of muscle relaxation. When magnesium is low, your muscles tense. They don't know when to stop contracting. They overreact. And that's when a cramp begins. Not because of activity, but because of absence. Because something was missing. Magnesium is depleted by stress. By caffeine. by certain medications, and very often, by poor diet. It's not a deficiency that screams, it whispers. Fatigue, stiffness, tension, and then pain. But nature, in her gentle brilliance, has wrapped magnesium inside almonds, pumpkin seeds, cashews, and flax seeds. A single ounce of pumpkin seeds delivers nearly 40% of your daily magnesium needs. That's not just food. That's therapy. And we must not forget potassium. We often think only of bananas, but pistachios and almonds are full of this essential mineral, helping restore electrolyte balance, especially after a walk, a garden chore, or a long day on your feet. A quarter cup of pistachios contains nearly 300 milligrams of potassium, quietly rebuilding what sweat or diuretics may have taken away. Now imagine this, an older man, 78 years old, sitting in my clinic. He tells me he gets cramps every time he walks too long. Not immediately. Later. At night. When he's lying down and his muscles finally rest. I ask him about his habits. He tells me he drinks water, yes, but he rarely eats anything after his early dinner. No snacks. No nuts. Too hard to chew, he says. Too much fat, he worries. But when I guide him gently toward soaking almonds overnight to soften them, toward eating pumpkin seeds on his soup, toward grinding flaxseed into his yogurt, a change begins. A month later, he returns. His sleep is less interrupted. His legs ache less. He smiles more. He says, "Doctor, I didn't think something so small could make such a difference." But that's the story of life, isn't it? Sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest power. And nuts, these humble, portable medicines of nature, bring not only minerals but healthy fats. Omega-3s in walnuts reduce inflammation in muscles and joints. Monounsaturated fats in cashews improve circulation, helping oxygen-rich blood reach the legs, restoring vitality where there was tightness. Inflammation is one of the root causes of cramping and soreness. Chronic, low-grade inflammation caused by processed foods, sugar, stress, and toxins creates an internal environment where muscles struggle to relax. But foods rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, like nuts and seeds, help cool that fire. They don't numb the symptom. They calm the cause. Now, let's talk about protein. Not the bulky kind that fills gyms, but the subtle kind, the repairing kind. Muscle recovery depends on it. When you're older, your protein needs don't decrease, they increase. Why? Because your body becomes less efficient at using it. That's why we need to be deliberate. A handful of almonds. A tablespoon of chia or pumpkin seeds. This is not just a snack. It's muscle maintenance. But I must remind you, portion matters. These foods are dense. Just 1 ounce 20 almonds, 2 tablespoons of seeds is plenty. Enough to nourish, without excess. And choose wisely. Raw or dry roasted. Unsalted. Because while sodium is vital for nerves, too much, especially from processed nuts, can lead to dehydration and cramping. Keep it pure. Keep it intentional. And what about timing? That matters too. Eat these healing foods not just at meals, but at the right moments. Before sleep, to prevent nocturnal cramps. After activity, to restore electrolytes. With meals, to aid absorption. You see, food is not just about content, it's about context. The right food, at the right time, becomes medicine. But some seniors tell me, "Doctor, I can't digest nuts well." To them, I say, try nut butters. Smooth almond butter on a slice of whole grain toast. A swirl of tahini in warm tea. A spoonful of sunflower seed butter with fruit. There is always a gentle way to receive the gift without the burden. And for those with allergies, nature again provides. Magnesium hides in greens. Potassium lives in lentils. Omega-3s rest in flax oil. If you listen, if you pay attention, your body will tell you what it needs, and the earth will always answer. Now let me ask you something. Not with a chart. Not with a diagnosis. But with a question only your heart can answer. When was the last time you truly listened to your legs? When was the last time you didn't just rub the cramp away, but asked yourself, what am I not giving them? This is not just about avoiding pain. This is about honoring the part of you that carries you through life. That stands, walks, climbs, lifts, and dances. Even if only in memory. Those legs are a sacred inheritance. They are worthy of attention, protection, and yes, celebration. So imagine this: you rise in the morning. You stretch. You feel a gentle steadiness in your calves. No tightness. No ache. You make a soft-boiled egg. Peel a banana. Grab a handful of soaked almonds. You sit by the window. The sun kisses your skin. You sip warm tea. You feel strong. Stable. Alive. This is not a dream. This is a decision. And it begins today. The journey to prevent leg cramps, to restore mobility and strength, does not begin in a pharmacy. It begins in your kitchen. In your refrigerator. In your habits. In your willingness to care for your body not with fear, but with respect. And what greater act of self-respect is there than choosing food that honors your age, your wisdom, your body's story? Eggs. Bananas. Nuts and seeds. Simple. Profound. Real. And now, if you're willing, let's take a final breath together, because the journey isn't over. It's just beginning. In the final words to come, I'll bring this all home, connecting not just the foods, but the philosophy of aging well, of protecting the legs that protect your freedom, of living with strength not only in body, but in soul. There comes a moment in every person's life when we realize that our body is not just a vehicle, but a vessel. A living journal that carries the traces of every mile we've walked, every child we've lifted, every burden we've carried, every joy we've danced in. And yet, somehow, when our legs begin to tremble, when our muscles cramp or give way, we question them. We scold them. We forget all that they've done for us. We say, "Why are you failing me now?" But perhaps the better question is, how can I begin to support you now? Because if your legs could speak, they wouldn't ask you for pity. They would ask you for partnership. They would say, "Feed me well. Move me gently. Let me rest when I'm tired. Challenge me when I'm lazy. But above all, do not forget me." So many of us spend our younger years chasing things that sit on screens or shine in bank accounts, and we ignore the miracle that is simply being able to stand on two strong legs. To rise from a chair without pain. To walk without fear. To sleep through the night without waking in agony. These are small freedoms. And yet when they are lost, everything changes. But here's the truth I want you to hold tightly, especially now, especially if you are over 60 and starting to feel more fragile. You are not broken. You are not too old. Your body is not done. It is asking. It is requesting. It is pleading for care. And care, in its purest form, often begins with nourishment. 3 foods. That's where we began. Not with 1,000 supplements. Not with prescriptions. But with 3 gifts from nature. The egg, restoring muscle, supporting nerves, providing the very blueprint of strength. The banana, calming cramps, hydrating cells, delivering the pulse of potassium that nerves depend on. A handful of nuts and seeds, replenishing magnesium, reducing inflammation, carrying the ancient fats that make your cells sing again. You see, when you put the right food into your body, you don't just fuel it, you tune it. And the older we get, the more delicate that instrument becomes. But delicate does not mean weak. A violin is delicate. A falcon's wing is delicate. Yet both are capable of astonishing power when treated with precision, reverence, and care. And so it is with your legs. If you're watching this, you may be feeling helpless. You may have tried medications, creams, hot water bottles, leg massages at 2 a.m. And still the cramps come. Still the weakness creeps in. But I ask you to remember this: no pill will ever replace what a properly nourished body can do for itself. No shortcut can offer what time-tested food can offer. And no diagnosis can define the potential of your body when it is finally supported the way it deserves. So I invite you, no, I urge you, not with fear, but with love, to begin today. Start simply. Place a carton of eggs in your fridge and remember that each one is a vessel of strength. Not fear. Not cholesterol. But healing. Buy a bunch of bananas and think of them as golden medicine, electrolytes wrapped in sweetness, designed to soothe your muscles and nerves with every bite. Stock a jar of almonds, cashews, walnuts, or pumpkin seeds. And don't let them collect dust. Let them become part of your rhythm. A snack. A sprinkle. A ritual of care. These three are not magic, but they are miraculous. Not because they come from a laboratory, but because they come from the earth. And the earth, when listened to, rarely fails us. But food, as powerful as it is just the beginning. When you eat well, you give your muscles the fuel. But when you move, you give them a reason to stay alive. And here's the secret: you don't need to run a marathon. You don't need to lift heavy weights. You only need to move. Gently. Daily. With intention. Take walks in the morning when the sun is soft and golden. Stretch your legs before bed, not with punishment, but with praise. Imagine the cramp that didn't come that night not as luck, but as proof that your body is listening, adjusting, responding to your care. Sleep well. Hydrate deeply. And take moments, quiet, uninterrupted moments, to simply feel your legs. To thank them. To acknowledge that they are still carrying you. Even now. Even after all these years. There is something sacred in that. And if you are a caregiver, watching this for someone you love, please, take this to heart. Those leg cramps that your mother complains about, the stiffness your father won't admit to, they are not trivial. They are signals. They are small fires. And you can be part of the healing. With a meal. A reminder. A walk. A touch. Because the journey of healthy aging isn't one we walk alone. It's a shared road. And every act of kindness, every banana sliced, every egg boiled, every handful of almonds offered, is a step on that path. Toward strength. Toward dignity. Toward peace. So I leave you now, not with a prescription, but with a vision. A vision of yourself waking without pain. Walking without fear. Sitting in your garden. Laughing without the shadow of discomfort. Sleeping through the night. Rising in the morning with a body that does not groan, but greets the day. It is possible. It begins with care. And today, that care begins with you. Eggs. Bananas. Nuts and seeds. Not just food, but medicine. Not just medicine, but love. Eat with intention. Move with grace. Rest with confidence. And live knowing that your legs, your beautiful, loyal legs, can still carry you through the best years of your life. Before you go, take one more breath, and promise yourself this: you will listen to your body. You will nourish it with intention. And you will never again ignore the quiet cry of your legs. If this video brought you clarity, hope, or even a moment of peace, please, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Give this video a like, it tells us these conversations matter. And hit subscribe to walk this journey of healthy, dignified aging, together. Because your best years aren't behind you. They begin with how you care for yourself today.